much more cost efficient. I mean, 18 tanks, 9 Vikings, 8 Hellions, and the Raven is just not something that he's ever going to be able to engage. And I feel like Beasty should just push soon, because as soon as he gets a little bit higher in supply, he's going to be basically untouchable as long as he doesn't have a horrible engagement.
But look at this. He wants to play a really long, drawn-out macro game. We see a giant turret ring coming down at this 3 o'clock base. And we already see the sensor tower and turrets in the main. So he wants to be drop-proof, stay on these 5 bases. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's got a supply lead as a mech Terran going versus bio. That's not something you want. The bio player should expect to have a higher supply, but lose more of it in each of the engagements. And look at this, Beastyqt going to get and run into the 3rd base. And there's a lot more saturation. So let's see how many grown kills he can get here.
Oh man, a lot of damage being done. Some of those fresh mules may even fall. And I mean, this is just something he can do non-stop the whole game. He just does not care about those minerals. He's even adding on Thors now. His +3 vehicle weapons. He's getting building armor. I mean, he has so much production going. Really just everything going his way so far this game. He already has the turret range upgrade, so he's basically drop-proof with this many turrets, plus that range and 2 sensor towers now. So I mean, with all that set up, I have to feel like his time to push is now.
Yeah, he is covering all of his bases, literally and figuratively. He's got turrets around every single expansion, pretty much. Getting the Thors to make sure that Kawhi can't do any kind of sneaky air transition. And look at just so many tanks over here in the middle. Kawhi has retaken the Zelnog Watchtower, but that force looks just so incredibly small. It's really bad when your Marine Marauder force is about your opponent's tank count. Looking at the units tab, 22 tanks out for Beastyqt compared to the 23 Marines. That's not a good statistic for Kawhi.
Yeah, and I mean, Kawhi is trying to make an air transition here, throwing down 2 tech labs and a reactor on these 3 starports in his natural. So, I mean, he's trying to do something here, and I respect that. You have to do something. You can't just stick on bio. You have to make a transition, whether it's going to be a Demek or Sky Terran or a little bit of both. But this is just so weird to me that BC just doesn't want to push. I mean, he's throwing down, it looks like 2 planetaries now, and it's like, to me, that's so confusing. I mean, he's been so far ahead for so long, and it's like the longer the game goes on, the more it's going to even up. I mean, KawaiiLighT is going to max out. He's going to get a good composition, so I just don't understand this waiting.
He's just playing incredibly safe. It might be a little bit more of a boring style, but it's really just so smart. He knows that his opponents really can't do anything to him. He's getting these planetaries to block up the choke points. We see scans coming down, trying to just test the waters here. But Beasty is just such a smart player. He knows that Kawhi has already invested in the upgrades for the bio and won't be able to transition fast enough. And he's actually just pushing forward towards the middle right now. And this bio force might actually get caught out of position here.
Yeah, but look at all these tanks. That's actually ridiculous. KawaiiLighT scans, and that has to be a sad sight, man. He just scanned and saw 25 tanks with +3, and that is never something you're going to be able to engage into unless they're all unsieged. And Beastyqt is just going to keep leapfrogging them forward. He's going to stand forward and be able to snipe off both those Thors. That's a little bit sloppy. Beastyqt needs to siege up in the background. He's not doing so, and he's actually losing a lot of his Vikings, too. That was actually, what was he even watching, man? That was really, really, really sloppy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure if he's freeing up supply, but he might want to remake those Thors. And right now, just continuing to push forward slowly but surely. In the meantime, we do have Kawhi continuing to produce Banshees and Vikings here.
Kawhi, like he just threw away his air control. I mean, he lost the 2 Thors, and now he has way less Vikings. So now KawaiiLighT could actually do something, man. And this is what I'm talking about. If you wait too long, you're allowing your opponent to have a chance to get back into the game. And he scans. He doesn't see the Vikings, so he's going to push forward. And the Vikings are going to kill everything he has, and the Banshees are going to clean up. And this is horrible for BC. He's going to try to focus down on those Banshees, but he's not able to do so. And I mean, he has no Thors. He's completely lost air control. And there's battle cruisers on the way. So really, you know, Beastyqt is just
5th base or 4th base, sorry. Over here on the left side, they do kill a decent amount of workers here, but as you mentioned, these tanks are now having to retreat from the 2 Banshees. But did Kawhi show his hand too early? Now, all these tanks are actually going to be able to retreat because there's only 2 Banshees trying to DPS them down.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get a couple on the way back, but the thing is he has 3 battle cruisers on the way, man. I feel like KawaiiLighT has the lead, and Beastyqt just waited way too long. He was way too patient. I mean, I understand being safe in a game that's even, but when you're that far ahead, you just have to go kill them, because the thing is, your opponent eventually is going to get up the same kind of economy. I mean, he's going to get the same army supply, and now he's just kind of throwing away his entire lead, and he's doing so much damage with these Banshees, still pushing him back. He has complete air control. The Thor comes out, so he will have to retreat from that. What is he doing? He's actually flying over the Thor and the turrets. That's huge. Really sloppy.
The Vikings taking some massive hits there from the splash damage of that Thor. But right now, you're right. Beasty is kind of low on money. He's got a ton of gas, but very, very starved for minerals. Looking at the harvester count, 63 to 57. So KawaiiLighT has equalized. He's getting his base to mirror the kind of split map positions here. But retreating himself, which is a little bit unusual. I guess just does not want to get into siege tank range here. But what is his follow-up plan? Right now, he's getting ship weapons level 3. So he's definitely committing to this air. Maybe just waiting for those battle cruisers to start massing up.
Yeah, I mean, he should definitely repair up all these Vikings. Some of them are quite low on HP. But once he gets, 4 or 5 battle cruisers, I feel like he can just push up, start taking down those turrets pretty easily. Just use, the Vikings to protect his battle cruisers from his opponent's Vikings, because battle cruisers deal very well with Thors, especially if you get the Yamato cannon.
Oh, now this is interesting. Beasty actually putting tech labs on these extra starports that he built at his natural. And yeah, he's going to go 4 tech labs. Now, oftentimes, if you have a massively larger economy, you can actually just go straight Viking, because your Vikings can actually kite your opponent's battle cruisers. But I think he's just going to go try to counter battle cruiser.
Yeah, I think he is going to go battle cruisers, man. Actually, Ravens. He's going Ravens. He's going to go for mass Ravens.
He's going to go for Seeker Missile.
Yeah, Corvid Reactor going down as well. It's the energy upgrade. But the thing is, KawaiiLighT is going to have +2 around the same time that his opponent has +1, or sorry, rather +3 when his opponent has +1. So he's going to have a 2 upgrade advantage. And KawaiiLighT, as long as he has a decent engagement, he has now repaired up all those Vikings. He's going to have a lot of battle cruisers out, and I feel like he should just be able to crush through, because the upgrades aren't going to be out in time. Like, none of the Ravens are even going to have Seeker missiles. Beasty will have invested so much into that, and if KawaiiLighT just scans, recognizes what's going on, and pushes, he should be able to easily take the game.
Look at this Air Force at the third base of Kauai. It is just so fearsome. Oh my goodness, that's actually really sick to watch.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, you look over here, there's a ton of Thors involved for BC, which is going to help him out a lot. +3 Thors, definitely going to be effective against the Vikings. I would like to see Yamato cannon added on for Kauai. I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been already, because it's like, that's so good for dealing with those Thors, but regardless, he's still in a great spot.
Nice little Hellion run by. Just trying to do a little bit of economic arrest, but in the meantime, we actually have Beasty going for one of the island expansions. And since this is the version that has the rocks rather than the creep spread, I think he's actually just going to be able to take this and distance mine it. But he also has that first proxy racks still there, so if he wants to, he could maybe train a Marine and actually take down these rocks.
Yeah, he definitely could. He's going to unload those SCVs. Maybe send something over. Maybe he'll make a Banshee or something, or who knows. But it looks like Kauai is now pushing forward, because he does have that +3. So it's going to be 3 attack, 1 armor against only 1 attack on his opponent's air. The Thors are going to be huge, and he has to be careful about clumping, because the Thors really can make the difference. But he has a lot of Marauders of his own, so if the tanks aren't sieged up to defend those Thors, then the Marauders can definitely stim in and focus them down.
Right now we have Kauai pushing forward. He did get Behemoth Reactor for his battle cruisers. They do have Yamato cannon here, and look at just how much damage they're doing pushing forward. And Beastyqt trying to readjust his army to be in position for this. In the meantime, both of our players have taken those bottom and top expansions. Beasty taking the one at the top left diagonal, Kauai taking that bottom right-hand diagonal. But Beasty is going to be up 1 ahead because of that. Oh, he actually morphed it into a planetary. Interesting.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, BC's actually going to be able to throw away some SCVs now. He just sacrificed some to those battle cruisers, and he's going to drop some mules. Kauai is to repair those up, so I really like that. He's taking down this turret ring. He could push in there a little bit if he wants. I mean, BC, is working on his upgrades still. He has some Seeker missiles available now, but Seeker missiles aren't very scary for the battle cruisers. He's going to be able to go for a Marauder drop here and do a lot of damage, bring up a lot of that army. He's going to stim focus down that 1 tank. And now he's going for the tech labs, and that's a tech lab researching cloak for the Banshees, so that's pretty annoying.
And he's even going to get the second one, which just started researching, so double loss there. But right now, he's trying to repel these Vikings and the Marauders that were dropped into this far right-hand base. And the battle cruiser providing a little bit of support, kind of camping over these 2 starports from BC. And that's going to pretty much render them useless. But still, BC is producing 5 Ravens at a time right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's possibly going to get the upgrade here on the durable materials, which is another little setback. A little bit annoying, reduces the time that those point defense drones can be up, and he's going to be able to kill some SCVs. But it looks like there's just going to be a counterattack with some of these tanks here from Beasty. He's just attacking with pure tanks. But you know, if he gets wind of this, Kawhi could send all the Marauders that are on the low ground back to deal with that, no problem. And he is going to do just that. He's coming in here. He's going to pick off another starport. It looks like Beasty is going to come in here, but he has to be careful, man. Kawhi's sending all his Vikings in over the 5 Thors, and he's going to take so much damage. That's horrible. He's not using the Yamato. Yamatos are now going to go off, but he's lost so many of those Vikings.
And PDD is going down from Beastyqt. And did I just hear a Seeker missile? I think I heard a couple, and I'm not even sure if they went off, but right now the tank's having to retreat. Kawhi pulling this back into his favor, making a massive supply lead right now, 178 to 126, as both players are floating around a similar amount of money. We do have tanks going into that bottom left-hand expansion for Kawhi, but
he's already lost almost all those tanks, so you know, they sent across, and he's so far behind now.
Yeah, and the battlecruisers finally shelling down this third base of Beastyqt. And here we go, the auto turrets going down for Beasty. And the Ravens just sacrificing themselves into the battlecruisers, not doing enough damage. The battlecruisers instantly taking down all of those auto turrets. Another Thor pops out, but not going to do enough damage versus these battlecruisers. One of these battlecruisers left with a single hit point of health. And there we go, the kiting from the Vikings. And let's look at the news tab. Who has the Viking lead right now? Looks like Beastyqt actually does, and he might actually be able to take down these battlecruisers from Kawhi.
Yeah, he might, but I mean, the damage has already been done. He's almost doubled in supply. The battlecruisers are too tanky. They just do not care about those Seeker missiles, man, and that's the problem with going Master even against BCs, is that they just tank so much damage that the Seeker missile isn't very effective. He's going to use Yamato cannon on both those BCs before they die, kill off all the last of the Vikings, and I mean, look at the supplies, 160 against 81. Let's check the economy. I mean, both players are hurting in that regard.
They're mining about 1 base worth. And
oh my god, look at the top left, look at those mules, left side, rather left side base for Kawhi. Yeah.
Oh, that is just a ton of minutes. Oh my goodness, and now we see the resources spiking for both players, but the planetary over here at the top left diagonal is going to get scattered up by Kawhi. 3 more battle cruisers going to go working at it. And in the meantime, he's still mining from his respective base, but that island base actually still has those 5 workers on it, even mining some of the gas there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not even going to repair the planetary. It will fall, so he'll lose the rest of time on those mules and those SCVs as well. And this is just so painful for BC. I mean, he's still in it. He still has lots of turrets and planetaries up, so he can turtle a little bit, but Kawhi is definitely taking a stranglehold on this game, and he has a lot of money back now, man. He's 2K. He's spending a bunch of that now, and he's going to be able to max out very shortly, whereas BC really has almost nothing going for him. All he's got is that long-distance mining on the right side of the map.
Yeah, such a huge lead in the beginning, and then somehow Kawhi making that beautiful check transition into air with the upgrade advantage on those ship weapons, ship weapons, and Beastyqt with his 1-3 tanks just not able to get enough done.
Yeah, but he just really waited way too long, and I'm just so disappointed for him, because it's like he's gonna watch this replay and just be kicking himself. Like he was infinitely far ahead. There was literally a 10-minute window of time where if he pushed at any time during that, he would have won. But here comes Kawhi. So many battle cruisers. The Yamato cannons are gonna go off. GG. He knew those swords were gone, and he's gonna call it GG. He wants to get out of there before even seeing them die.
Oh man, he must be so upset right now.
Yeah.
You, as a mech Terran versus Terran, you always want to be like, okay, can I get to my 160, 170 supply army? And he did, and his opponent was at like 90 supply.
Yeah, I mean he was at 200 supply with mech when his opponent was at like 160, and he still didn't push. So I'm confused. I mean, I think he was just maybe you know, it's like one of those things where it's such an important game that he's like, okay, I can't mess this up. I can't, you know, B2.
Yeah, he wanted to play as safe as possible, and then we had that one little engagement, which didn't look like much, but his 2 Thors got taken out.
Yeah, that was huge.
And then Kawhi jumped on that, immediately threw down those extra starports, started cranking out those air units, and was able to actually push Beasty all the way back. And we saw just those 2 first Banshees able to repel an entire tank force that was like 20 large. And that was just crazy. Yeah,
it was absolutely insane. So KawaiiLighT is going to take a crazy game 1 after getting so far behind in the early game. You know, he was so far behind from that proxy Marauders, and that was so long ago that you almost forget that that happened.
I totally didn't even remember that until you said it. And the thing was, he should have won from there. He was 10 Harvesters ahead, and Kawhi was so lucky to actually kill off that first SCV. If that bunker had finished, that would have been game right there. But Kawhi being so resilient, I mean, most players would have just GG'd knowing how far behind they were, and then even into the mid-game knowing how far behind they were.
Yeah, I can't believe it, man. And Beasty's, I hope he's not on tilt now, because
I would imagine that that's the only place he could be.
Yeah.
He's like, I proxy maraudered, it worked, I killed 10 of your SCVs, I expanded to my third like 3 or 4 minutes before you did. I had a huge maxed out mech army. And then what happened?
Yeah, yeah, it's like, God. But I don't know. I mean, we were just waiting for that map pick here from Beastyqt.